because this is a children's Mass, because a lot of the readings and the prayers were done so beautifully there by the children, the homily is going to be directed primarily at the children too. So would those children, would you like to come to the front? Would you like to come here and join me for the homily? Would that be okay? So now, first question for you, an easy question. Who heard the gospel today? Who is listening to that gospel? Hands up, hands up, hands up. Very few hands gone up there in the congregation, I noticed. Noted. Don't worry, you can pop your hands down again. So we heard that gospel, we were listening. And what did Jesus do in that gospel? What did he do? What was the first thing that Jesus did? Yes. He tried to make God known. That's an excellent answer. That is true. He did. He did. And how did he do that first? What did he start off? What was the first thing he did? What was the first thing he did? Yes. What was the first thing that Jesus did in the gospel today? Yes. Oh, it'll come back to you, don't Very good, yes. He prayed. Very good. He prayed. And it's something we can all do too. We can all pray. I'm sure we all pray here and at home and various places. We can all pray too. And do you know what prayer is? Do you know what Jesus told us prayer is in that gospel today? Prayer is very simply speaking to God and us listening for God to speak back to us. Do you think that's something we could do? We could try to do. It doesn't need to be big or long or fancy prayers. Be very simple. As long as it's from the heart, from here, and we speak to God, God hears us and we listen to him. So that kind of answers my second question, because who did Jesus pray to? When he raised his eyes to heaven, who did Jesus speak to? Yes, he showed that prayer to everyone in the world, you're right. But who did he speak particularly to? Have you got your hand up there? Yes. Who did he speak to? God the Father, yes. And that's where our prayer goes in the end. When we speak and we listen in our prayer, we speak to Jesus and we speak to God the Father. And Jesus, when he prayed who? Did he just pray for those 12 people with him that day? Just those 12? Or was it for more people? Do you think he prayed for each and every one of us here too? Even though we weren't there at the time, even though we weren't even born at the time, do you think he prayed for me and for you and for our parents? Yes, he did. Because even then, Jesus knew each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. And he loved you and he prayed for you. And what he prayed for is that we might all be united with him, that we might all be with him and spend time. What do you think of that? Does that make sense? That we might be with Jesus? Yes? No, I'm getting some yeses, I'm getting some no's. That's fine. That's fine. What Jesus wants for each and every one of us, for me, for you, for Deacon Tony, for all of our parents and all of our friends, is that we be united with him because he loves us. And how do we get united with someone? Do we? Hands up here who's got friends. Hands up here who's got friends. What do you do if you want to be united with your friends, if you want to spend time with them? Do you speak to your friends? Yeah? Do you listen to your friends? Yes. Good. That's the right answer. I'm glad to hear that. Do you think you might try that with God as well? With Jesus? Spend that time with Jesus, speaking to him in prayer, listening to him. Would that be okay? You're going to try that for me? Very good. Very good. I'm not going to say any more than that to you this morning because I think that's quite enough. Do you? Do you agree with me? Yes. And that's all heads nodding now. That's all heads nodding. Just remember that Jesus knows each and every one of you. He loves you each very much, and he wants us all to be united, praying, that is, speaking to him, spending time with him, listening to him. You going to try that for me? Good, fantastic. Now, I'm going to let you go back to your seats, back to your parents and your friends now. Back to those people whom I noticed didn't put their hands up, by the way. No, I'll let you back now. Thank you all very much for your attention this morning. Wonderful. Thank you all so very much. Now, this morning as well, because of course we're having our parish mission, there will be a testimonial, excuse me, I nearly mixed my words up there, from one of our mission team from Canada. So Austin, there you are. I can invite you forward, and if you want, you can use you don't have to sit on the floor with me here, you're fine. You can use the podium. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Austin Arceneaux. I'm a student of philosophy at Concordia University in Montreal. I grew up Catholic through my mother, but I never fully understood my faith. I went to Mass, and that was the extent. I was surrounded by a culture that very much influenced how I would treat my faith. From school, I learned how the church was an antagonist to my province's prosperity. My parish life was very culturally Catholic and never tried to convince me that this was God's one true church. I internalized these ideas and came to a feeling that I didn't need the church for God. God was real to me, but distant and not interfering. So I would keep my faith private for myself. At 19, in school, I came to a breaking point in my way of thinking, which was full of contradictions, and being interested in philosophy, I started to find answers through it. I learned about the St. Thomas Aquinas and his mission of tying faith and reason together. This attracted me, since I didn't even know that there was any reason to faith, and I just discovered a new realm of knowledge. I learned through philosophy that God was true, a fact, and so I knew I needed to take action in regards to my faith. I began to study the intellectual tradition of the Catholic Church, which allowed me to appreciate the commands she has for us, knowing that they will all eventually lead back to God. My gradual coming back to faith was starting to be built by the rules it had for me. It was true, so I had trust in it. I would later learn this was only the first step to my full spoken conversion. On my university campus, I encountered Catholic Christian outreach. And having already come back to my faith, I was excited to be involved with them and took the Discovery Faith Study. This faith study was what had me make my spoken yes to God. I was invited to enter a Christ-centered relationship and prayed to Jesus, I want him at the center of my life. This was a turning point in my faith. It revealed to me that I was able to connect with God personally. Before my yes, I understood that God knew me fully, but I didn't know how to work with that at all. I didn't have a real confidence in God's will. With what I learned about God from Catholic Christian outreach, I got that confidence to speak to God as a friend, someone who knew me so well, to listen to and accept his plan and callings for me. My journey is one of trust from truth. God revealed his realness to me 2 years ago so that I could begin to finally have confidence and yield to his fantastic plan for me. Psalm 26, verse 3 speaks this so well. For your steadfast love is before my eyes, and I walk in faithfulness to you. I learned God puts his love everywhere, and he wants you to have it. We just have to decide to take it. Thank you.